Trivia questions ahoy. How many trivia questions? 21. That's why it's called that. Thanks very much for being here, having a listen. My name's Mike van Acker. I run a trivia company. I'm a stand-up comedian, and I used to be a radio host, and now I'm doing this podcast, and I love bringing this show to you. Thank you for being here. Let's get going. Question 1. Which species of bird is the fastest swimmer? It'll be the penguin, right? Specifically, I guess it's pronounced gentoo. Could be gentoo, Gentoo. Would you pronounce that gentoo or gentoo? But anyway, it's the gentoo penguin found on the Antarctic islands, and it can swim 40 kilometres an hour, so it could legally swim through a school zone and not get a ticket. That's in Australia, where the school zones are 40 kilometres an hour. I have listeners right around the world. I've really got to stop making Australian references. Question 2. In a concert orchestra, how many instruments are played with a bow? There are 4. There's the violin, the cello, the viola, and the double bass. They're all sometimes plucked, but they also can be played with a bow. Question 3. Starting with the letter O, what type of doctor deals with the care of women during pregnancy, childbirth, and the postnatal period? That would be an obstetrician. And shout out to the midwives who are doing their bit with less credit than the obstetrician gets. Probably less money too, I'm just going to say it. Controversial, I know. Question 4 is always a true or false on this podcast. True or false? Founded in 1636, Harvard is the oldest institution of higher learning in the English-speaking world. Is that true? Is that false? Imagine right now there's all these English people yelling at their phone going, I don't think so. What about Oxford? Oxford has been teaching since 1096. And they're right, Oxford has been. That's false. Oxford has been around for so long that their toga parties, people really were wearing togas, and they weren't called toga parties, they were just parties. Question 5. Is Perry White a character in Spider-Man or Superman? Perry White is a character in Superman. He's the editor-in-chief of the newspaper where Clark works. And J. Jonah Jameson is depicted as the publisher of the Daily Bugle and is Peter Parker, Spider-Man's boss. I'm glad we could clear that up, everyone. Question 6. Is an antonym A, a word that is the opposite of a given word, or B, a word that means the same thing as a given word? An antonym is a word that is the opposite of a given word. Question 7. We're talking great monuments of the world. What does the Great Sphinx of Egypt have the body and head of? The Sphinx has the body of a lion and the head of a man. Body of a lion I would question, because surely the body of a lion could also be mistaken for the body of, say, a German Shepherd. Or even a donkey if it's sitting down. Anyway, after question 7, we do the first clues for the Who Am I for the episode. Here we go. Who am I? And today, it's a country. Who am I? I'm a country in northern South America, if you followed that, northern South America, with a coastline along the Caribbean Sea. My official language is Spanish, and I'm home to Angel Falls, the tallest waterfall in the world. Don't worry if you don't know it yet. There's more clues coming up after question 14. Question 8 is a music question. Which song by the legendary Ray Charles has the lyrics, old woman, oh you treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I ever have seen. Now, don't song lyrics always sound different when you hear them spoken rather than sung? That song, oh woman, oh you treat me so mean. You're the meanest old woman that I've ever seen. That is, of course, Hit the Road Jack. And don't you go back no more. Question 9. From which 1994 movie is the quote, stupid is as stupid does? Oscar-winning movie. Stupid is as stupid does. That would be Forrest Gump. Forrest Gump. Question 10. Which girl's name is also the name that we give to a female donkey? It's a Jenny. A female donkey is a Jenny. So I go back to Forrest Gump now and go, I love you, Jenny. I do beg your pardon. Question 11, true or false? Zinc is mixed with copper to make brass. That's true. Yes, it is. Good. Question 12, in what year did Woodstock Music Festival and the moon landing take place within a month of each other? That would be 1969. Woodstock, 15 to 18 August, and man landed on the moon, 20th July, also of 1969. Look, if you're one of those conspiracy theorists that believes we didn't go to the moon, good on you. But there really is, and I really mean this, there absolutely is no reason for you to email me and contact me about that. Yeah, no, you just don't need to do that. Thank you, though. Question 13, what does a conchologist study? C-O-N-C-H, conch. Ologist. What does a conchologist study? And I better give you multiple choice. Is it A, shells? Is it B, geometric shapes and figures? Or is it C, historical documents? A conchologist studies shells, as in the conch that you can blow into and it makes that sound. I wish I had made that sound go a bit longer because the conch is more whereas different. Sorry. Question 14. Which internet search engine is also the name of a legendary being in the novel Gulliver's Travels? Did you know Gulliver's Travels have a character called Yahoo? Yahoo, one of the original search engines. Okay, after question 14, we do more clues for the Who Am I. In this particular example, we are continuing on with the country from South America, but just to confuse you, I told you it was northern South America, so that's fun. Who am I? For many years, my economy relied heavily on some of the largest oil reserves on the planet. In recent decades, I've experienced major political and economic turmoil, leading to one of the largest migration crises in modern Latin American history. Also was in the news in a major way right at the beginning of this year. Let's move on with the final questions. Question 15. Are gorillas apes or monkeys? Gorillas are apes. The main difference between monkeys and apes being that apes don't have tails. Question 16. Was the reality TV show that co-starred Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie called The Simple Life or A Fortunate Life? It was The Simple Life. It ran from 2003 to 2007, and wouldn't you know it, I didn't manage to catch a single episode. Not one. And I'm okay with that. Question 17. Which country produces the most cheese out of all the countries in the world each year? And I'll give you multiple choice. Is it the USA? Is it Germany? Is it France? See, in my mind, I go France because Charles de Gaulle their former president once quoted, how can you govern a country that has 400 different types of cheese? But in this case, it's the USA. The USA makes over 6 million tons of cheese every year. Germany is second and the French are third. Question 18. What country in the United Kingdom are the Grampian Mountains one of the 3 major mountain ranges in? The Grampian Mountains are in Scotland. Question 19. Alive or not so much? McLean Stevenson Jr., better known just as McLean Stevenson, who of course played Lieutenant Colonel Henry Blake on the TV version of MASH. Is he alive or dead? He's dead. He passed away in 1996. Question 20. A music question to bring us home. Is Gordon Summer the birth name of Gordon Ramsay, Gordon Lightfoot, or Sting? Gordon Summer is the birth name of Sting. There we go. Final clues for the Who Am I now. It's the country we talked about with the oil from South America. Final clues. Who am I? My capital city is Caracas. My name translates roughly to Little Venice, a name reportedly inspired by houses built on stilts that early European explorers saw along my coastline. I am Venezuela. Venezuela, as I said, been in the news in a big way from around January of this year. Okay, that's 21 questions done and dusted, but now we shall do the player question. It's a 20-second question that I do in every podcast now, and it's provided by you, by the listeners. Last episode, Peter from Redland Bay asked the question, the ultrasound and the bionic ear, the cochlear implant, were both invented in which country? And the answer is Australia. Now, some people will object to that a little bit because the work for particularly the ultrasound and a little bit the bionic ear was done elsewhere, some of the early work, but we made it better. We contributed to it. In both cases, we are considered major contributors to those projects, and some people would just simplify that and say we invented them. And I'm not going to argue because we have a long history in this country of claiming things that are not exactly specifically from here, but close enough. For example, Russell Crowe, the actor, born in New Zealand, but he's Australian. We claim Mel Gibson, born I think in America, but we claim him. You can have him back if you want him. America, we don't mind. Keith Urban, New Zealand, we claim him. Anyway, that's what we do here. We love it. Okay, this episode's question, Liz from Colorado, another international player question. This made me very happy. Thank you, Liz from Colorado, who asks the question, is legato, Legato, is legato a term used in music or cooking? And I'll give you the answer to that next episode. Okay, that brings us to the end of another episode of 21 Questions. If you'd like to contribute a question for this show, send it to me via the 21 Questions Facebook page. You might need to put in 21 Questions by Trivia Tribe, but you'll know you're at the right spot if you find the same pink logo that you'll see on your podcast app right now. So have a look, send me a question, send me the answer too if you can. You don't have to, I'll check it anyway. But I'm very interested to know what sort of questions the people that are listening to this podcast think is interesting trivia. I'd like to get to know you people, I'd like to get to know you well. I'd love to know what kind of scores you're getting. Are you getting all 21? Are you getting 15? Are these too easy, too hard? Let me know. I'd like to get to know the people that are listening to this podcast so I can better write trivia you're going to find interesting. This podcast comes out every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday, and I love that you meet me here on those days to play trivia for 10 or 12 or 14 minutes, whatever it is. I've had fun bringing you this. I hope you've enjoyed it too. I've been Mike van Acker. I'll catch you next time.